evening, beautiful people, and welcome to Unscripted with Melissa Santillan. Tonight, this is my third season. I'm actually opening up and excited to talk to you with some very special guests about the Rockford Area Art Council Awards that is coming up on March 8th. That is on a Friday. So let me introduce my first guest. I have to say, Mr. Southside, Mr. Rockford. You've been on all seasons now. You were on the first season, the second season, and now the third season, Mr. Vic Rivera. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me. No, thanks for having me again, Melissa. This is awesome, and I really appreciate the invite every time.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on and sharing what is going on in Rockford. We definitely have tackled several projects together in the past year and some exciting new things coming this year, including this one. So Vic and I are both board members for the Rockford Area Art Council. I guess I am probably one of the newer ones, and then we will be having a fourth guest join us shortly, so that'll be a surprise guest. But I wanted to introduce my other guest, who is a recipient of an award from the Rockford Area Arts Council, Manny Chinacat Tang.
Hello.
Yes.
Meow.
And I actually had the pleasure of meeting you last year during Art Scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a big fan of your work.
Thank you.
And when I finally got to meet you, I think I went crazy and I bought like a little bit of everything. I did. I actually bought one of my favorite bags is
a pillow.
A pillow. I bought the matching pillow.
Yeah.
I bought my daughter-in-law a pillow.
Yeah,
Everything.
You did. And I appreciate that.
Yes. And the space that I saw you at is a very well-known space in the art community now, especially when we hold spring and fall art scene, Bennie's Cleaners.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how many years have you been involved with art scene and at Bennie's Cleaners? How long has it been?
Memory. I think I started.
It doesn't have to be exact years.
Yeah, I think I started 2010 or 11.
Yeah.
And I think I've been at Benny's probably 2011.
That's some years there. You're not from Rockford originally, are you?
No, I'm from New York.
From New York.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you end up coming and living here in Rockford?
Well, you guys can't see, but my husband's right there.
Yes. We see you, Don.
Yeah. So he kind of introduced Rockford to me, and I was in between, considering going back to school or stay on my the job that I had, you know. And then I visited him in Rockford, and then I just thought, oh my gosh, the living expenses is so much better here
than in New York, right?
Yeah, and also if I go to school here, it's less, distractions. In New York, there's so much going on. It's really hard because I would be a non-traditional student. So I would be thinking, going out, to eat, see my friend, whatnot. But if I were to come here, I can focus on, going back to school again.
What were you going to school for?
At that time, I was thinking about going to physical therapy.
Wow, that's a big change in what you went to school for, and then you decided to being like a full-time artist.
Yes.
Because you are a full-time artist now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from physical therapy, I switched to major in psychology. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I switched to thinking maybe I want to teach psychology because I was so in love with it. Mm-hmm. But then I realized teaching is not for me. So, but then I just want to finish my degree. I needed some electives. And I thought, you know what? I used to go to art school, high school, and FIT is kind of like more like a technical school. So I thought if I take art classes again, I would be happy. It would be easy. And then who knew? I took one class at Rockford University. Mm-hmm. I was hooked. Like all the memory, all the love started coming back. And then I realized, oh my gosh, you know how sometimes either for a period of time or for a long time, there's something, your life is fine, but there's something nagging, behind all of your thoughts. It's kind of like some kind of void. You're not unhappy, And then I just realized all this time I given up on art. Mm-hmm. I have not done anything art related. And then once I picked up those classes, oh my gosh, I realized this is what I always loved. And then I just kind of stopped doing it. And I realized all this time it's nagging me, but it's under the surface. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it.
So you were a younger artist, and then you kind of pursued a different career, it sounds like. And like you said, you found your passion again for art. And I think what a lot of young people don't realize is this can be a career.
Oh,
you know, like showing people this is an actual career. Because I know myself when I told family members that I was going to go to beauty school, and they're like, why don't you go to a real college? You know, so I got a lot. Yeah, they gave me that, and they were just like, well, going to trade schools, you're not going to make any money. And that was like the focus, I remember, with there was a lot of feedback that I got was like, well, that's a hobby. That's not really a career. And I'm sure you probably heard that. Like, I got that from a lot of family members where they were just like, your cousin's going to NIU. Why don't you go? So trades and art is definitely a career path.
It is. And it's funny you brought that up because I did it to myself. My parents did not have any problem with me pursuing art.
Oh, okay.
I did it to myself because I was so young. I kind of think in black and white. So I'm talking to myself thinking that, art is not a real job. I need a steady paycheck. So I actually took myself out of art school. Especially in New York, there's a lot of competition because there's so many talented people. And you go to school with them, you're in contact with them. Yes. So you're like, what made me so special? How am I going to survive in this field? So I actually talked myself out of it. So luckily, when I go back to pursue my art career again, I'm already adult. So I don't have to listen to what people tell me. So my path is a little bit different. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the arts community here in Rockford has just bloomed so much. In the past, like I like being a part of it and watching it and just just being in the thick of it. And a lot of us made the videos for the Rockford Area Art Council recently about the awards where we were saying why the arts community is so important to us. So I made one and I shared mine. I want to hear yours because did you make a video for them?
I think I did.
You did? You did one last year.
Last year.
Yeah, last time around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like play off of the one that you did last year and just express like why the arts community is just so important to you here in Rockford.
I think it's so important. And first of all, it's beautiful. And second of all, I think to me, I feel like a city, if you don't see art, events, and culture going on, I feel like it's kind of a city lack of soul.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel that.
You just go about, I don't know, like make more money. I mean, there's nothing wrong business grow, but I feel like, we're all multidimensional. So we need art to feed our soul, and to actually make us a better person as well. And also I feel like a development of art scene.
Yes.
Is also an indication that the city is doing well. It's not just kind of tunnel vision, just focus on spotlight on certain things. So I think it's great. I think it's great. Yeah.
And what about you, Vic? I know you kind of dabble in lots of different arts. As a child, did you know that you were going to be a part of some type of arts? Like as you got older, like were you always interested? Because like I knew when I was a little girl that I was going to do something in the beauty industry. I didn't know what. I just knew I wanted to be a part of it.
No. No, I never. So with me, my gateway into art was breaking and DJing and graffiti. Right. But when we were doing it, that was just what we did. Like that was our lifestyle. We weren't trying to make anyone happy or sell anything. It was just what we did. So that's what we thought just kids in the hood did.
When did you see the need to like be a part of like the event coordinating and organizing things? Because you do that well.
When I started doing breaking events was for other breakers. It was for ourselves. Yeah. It wasn't really to appease anybody. But as I got older, I realized that more people should be aware of this community. And as I started getting older, I realized because up until a certain point, I didn't realize what I did was art. It's like, we were doing hip hop. You know, we were like, because we were very approached differently by certain communities because we're all Mexican and black, and so all right, cool, we're hood kids, I guess. But as I got older, I realized how much more we have in common than we don't have in common, and that's really how I started getting more involved with the arts community in Rockford. Once I started accepting the fact that I was an artist and am.
That and when we have these when these art communities come together for art shows and for different events and things like that, I do notice that it's a lot of artists supporting artists, and I love that. I love seeing that. It's a lot of artists supporting artists. But one thing that I felt, because I've been a part of the meetings for the cultural plan that we've had here in the past year, a lot of people are realizing, how do we get buyers to come in? Because like, as an artist, you know, of course you have pieces that you would like to sell. And, you know, once in a while, yeah, you know, artists go to support artists, but how do we get people to come in and join into the art scene and become a part of that? What do you think is going to be like a gateway to get people more involved instead of just artists supporting artists?
I think I sound like a broken record by this point, but I cannot emphasize, stress enough. We have to promote Rockford art scene.
Yes.
Make it a destination. We got to promote, get it out to other city, and then, you know, make it really an event out of it so people would travel to come to art scene to see what's going on in our city. Because I think we have a lot of nearby cities. There's a lot of cities don't have art scene per se, or at least not at this scale, because we have so many participants, you know.
And there's a lot of smaller cities and communities surrounding us. I think they do try to target them, but it's like the want to come here, the want to be involved with it, the want to come out here and actually support the artists.
Oh, I think that's doable too. Maybe I'm too simple, but I think that for most people to, you know, when we try to make an event at art scene, we can affect and attract art lovers and collectors. But there's also people like to do stuff over the weekend, so we can tie in, you know, the food. Maybe like doing a special restaurant week, just like, you know, Rockford already is doing, and also music. I mean, people really draw. I mean, people. Music event really draw people out of there.
So do you feel like that might be something that I know we do have, like poetry, we do have some music. Do you think it's maybe adding more music aspect to art scene to create a more of an intention?
I think so. Music and art.
I know it's been an ongoing conversation, and it's like
I've heard it too.
Yeah. And it's getting people to realize, even within our own community, people don't know that there is an art scene.
Yes.
Art scene's been around since 1986.
That's
almost 40 years.
Yes.
And there's still people who like just discovered art scene last year. You know what I'm saying? Who are in their 30s or older. So there's still people within our own community who aren't aware of that. Yeah. To answer your music question, there's still musicians that are unaware that, you know, they think, like a lot of people think that like if you're a DJ, you can only DJ like where they want hip hop music or dance music or something. But really, these galleries over the weekend, you could play whatever music you want. You can have bands, and you can have just different styles of music to cater a different type of audience, to bring in different types of people. And that's really like a bigger ask, but I don't think it's undoable. It's just getting people to be aware that we have something in our own community, and that you, as like, let's say I'm a hip hop DJ, I don't only have to DJ to a hip hop crowd. I could do a show for Manny and her audience. Well, you know what I'm saying? But your people will be like, oh wow, he's a good DJ, and the people who come see me will be like, wow, she's an amazing artist. And that's how we continue to cross promote and collaborate. But it's still like this thing in Rockford that we just have to reach really deep within our own community and let people know that these things are happening. They're ongoing. They're annual, fun free. Also, you can support local and just be a part of this great thing. You know, my favorite comparison is like, let's say for instance, Art Basel in Miami, South by Southwest in Austin. They started as art shows basically that grew and grew and grew. we have the same thing here. It's just we really as a community need the rest of the city to pour into it to start attracting these people. When you see the videos of Art Basel, these celebrities going, they're buying art, from the local artists.
That's what I want to see happen.
Yes, I think it's possible. It really is.
I think we're on the cusp of it. Like we're starting to figure it out. But like you said, adding different types of cultural music, not DJ music. Like we can have different bands, different groups, like just showing up at different shows for so people can be introduced to the different cultures that we have, because we are a melting pot here. I definitely agree. Like we have so many different nationalities, races here in Rockford. I feel like we could pull lots of different types of dancers, musicians, and things like that to making appearances at art shows.
And also one more idea. I don't know what you guys think, especially Vic. I think maybe we could change the way how we word or describe art scene a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I take myself for an example. When I was going to school, I'm already in Rockford. And a friend of mine, he participated in art scene. And then I saw that on Facebook. And I was like, what is art scene?
What is this? Yeah.
Where is it? There's no location. There's no time. I'm interested, but I have no
There was no way of figuring out.
It's very abstract.
How do you get involved?
It's very abstract.
Yeah, in recent years, it has gotten a lot better with the way the marketing is. There is pamphlets now that have maps.
The maps help because who's showing at what place.
And that was really only recently, and I do agree. And that's one of the reasons why I got involved with the Art Council, because I totally, feel where you're coming from. But yeah, there are maps now. There's QR codes if your phone is better. Me, I like paper. So there's maps that have every location. One thing that artists do that's terrible is last minute. But if you can meet the deadlines, all the venues will have every artist that's a part of the show. Really, since COVID, I would say the marketing and the advertising has gotten a whole lot better.
Online.
Yeah. Yes.
It has, because I didn't really know or hear about art scene either, and I've lived here all of my life in Rockford. 2017 was the first time I was introduced to an art scene, and I've been here all of my life. Not because I didn't want to be a part of it or see it or anything like that. I just didn't know about it because I didn't know about it. It was like one of those things, if you know, you know. Yeah. And if you don't, you're left out in the dark.
Yeah. I know, to this day, I still meet people, is that your art? I say, yes, come see me at art scene. What is that?
Right. Yeah, what people ask me that too. They have an art scene here? I'm like, we have a really good art community here in our city, and it's nice that it's finally starting to get some recognition. Yeah, and that is why a lot of time, I think for 3 years, when I make my own Facebook invite page for art scene, instead of art scene, I would title as Art Walk. I think that gives people a better idea. Sure. It's not just one location. The wording can be weird because some people associate it to one venue. When in reality, art scene's like it's multiple venues. Yeah, it's like 40 venues. Yeah. And I know I usually take it upon myself to try to see different venues every year that I go and see different artists. So it's like I can't make it to all 40 spots. Yeah. So it's like you have to pick and choose in spring, and then you got to pick and choose in fall, like what you're gonna see. And it's sad because I want to jump out and see a little bit of everything, but you can't. Yeah. And then, when you make a game plan too, because I know I did, me and Daisy did this last year. We made a game plan. We're like, we're going to go here. We're only going to spend this amount of time. And then we're going to go here so we don't miss this. Nope. Well, the first place we went, we were having such a good time and we were feeling it. And we were actually at the Nordlof and they were doing the poetry. Oh, is that right? So I was like, well, wait, there's still 3 poets left. And I didn't want to leave until they were all finished. And she's like, but if we stay, we're not going to be able to make it to the other place. So you should have seen us hauling ass, trying to run down East State to try to make it to another venue. We probably only spent 15 minutes in that last venue because we had so much fun at the Nordlof. But, it's hard to put a time limit on when you're having fun. Yeah, so that even happens outside of our scene sometimes. You want to go to 3 shows same night, but then you just lost track of time. Yeah. And it's crazy. I've always said this, there's really 2 sides
entertainment wise, when it comes to Rockford, there's the people who say there's nothing to do.
Oh my goodness.
And then it's like me, like I work second shift, so I miss a lot of stuff. But I'm like, man, I wish I was at these 3 things that are happening on a Friday night, or there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Really is.
I honestly learned about a lot of the happenings from you, from watching your Facebook page, like watching you popping up at different places over the years. And I'm just like,
me too, yeah.
Like, wow, I didn't even know that was going on. So then I'm like, I'm just going to watch his page and see when he lets flyers out so I can put dates down.
And that's great information for me because
you became my calendar.
Well, so that's how I became so I was all like, I love supporting my friends.
Yes.
It costs me nothing. I love doing it. You know, like even if I don't buy something from somebody, I could take a picture.
Right.
And now you know. But so now I do the social media for the Rockford Art Council. And basically I'm doing what I was already doing. But now I'm sharing it through the Rockford Art Council page. And now people sending me stuff now. But again, to my point is there really is a lot of stuff to do.
A lot.
Not only from the visual art standpoint, but there's a lot of theater in Rockford, which I had no idea.
Neither did I.
There's like 4 theatrical groups here. It's insane. A lot of poetry stuff has been like re-emerging. Maze books, Nordlof theater. I mean, all this poetry, spoken word is insane. And music. There's always a lot of music. So again, there's just art-wise, if you're bored here in Rockford, you should probably follow the Rockford Area Council art page because there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
I've noticed too at a lot of local events, artists have been more welcomed to vend at different types of events, which is great to see because I just, usually when you go, it's like food, it's certain types of vendors, and it's just like, well, the only thing that's missing here is art. And like it's nice to see it happening more now than it was before. And I'm happy to see a lot of these artists getting a different crowd.
It's more visible, more recognized now than before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what it was that did it. Is it social media? I mean, social media is king right now. So I believe, instead of reaching 100 people, you can reach 10,000 people, like faster than you could before by foot.
It's definitely a combination of social media, obviously, but collaboration. So 2 projects that I was loosely involved in, and Manny was also. So the electrical box.
Oh, yeah.
Which I believe
electrical box.
that design, right, is on 3 boxes or 2?
3, I got 3.
3, and I see 2 of them pretty often. They're big, they're pink, they're loud. It's like, you look at it and you say, wow.
It's attention grabbing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But that's a collaboration between the Rockford Area Art Council and the city of Rockford.
Right.
And I believe ComEd or whoever manages those
the boxes.
Electrical boxes. And also another recent collaboration was the Arts Council and the Rockford IceHogs.
Yes, and I noticed you're rocking the hat. I love it.
I mean, but what I'm trying to say is with the electrical boxes, it's like the blue collar type who are going to see it. With the art hat, which this one is designed by Michael Lascantes. These are the sports people, who go and say, "Oh, like what does sports have to do with art?"
But now we're merging it. Now it's happening. And then I remember last year too. A little while ago, you were talking about how you can't make it to everything, and I was saying the same thing. Like I just can't make it to all of the shows. I missed Manny's show because it was my birthday that night, and I had a birthday celebration. So that's why I didn't go. And I really wanted to go, but like we had like a dinner planned, and then we had a party planned, and I was like, I really wanted to go to her show.
It's coming back next year.
See, then I'll make sure I make it to that. But I remember, Vic, I remember you had messaged me one evening because I had made it to Sad Fest and you couldn't go because you were working. And you were like, I'm so happy you got to make it and I got to actually see footage from it.
Oh, I used some of your pictures.
And I was like, I actually got like a lot of video, a lot of pictures, a lot of footage. And then to support Lizzie and all of the local artists, because that was Lizzie's show, the Sad Fest. She has it every year. I don't think I made it to the first year, but I made it to the next ones. And supporting the local artists is just so important to me too, to just show up, especially the younger artists. I love being a part of anything that they have going on, like to be engaged with them. And a lot of them are my son's friend. I have a son that is their age. And I'm over there like kicking it with his friends. My son's a big fan of yours too. He absolutely adores you.
He's the best. And she's a cool mom.
Yeah, I tried to. And grandma.
I totally see that.
Yeah. So I mean, I was just on Lizzie's podcast right before you all arrived. And it was a good one. I can't wait for everybody to see that. That was a good collaboration. It was actually 6 podcast hosts in one setting, and we were all debating questions that people were sending in to us.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be a good one to watch out for. So I wanted to go over the location and a little bit more about the Rockford Area Art Council Awards this year. It is going to be held in the same location. So it's going to be the Women's Club, right? And that is, hold on, I don't know if I have the address on this flyer. We do have flyers. So if you're not following the pages on Instagram and on Facebook, the Rockford Area Art Council, please follow those pages on Instagram. Do we have a TikTok?
No, it's something we're debating.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was really anti-TikTok, I'm not going to lie, for a while. But I had to jump on that wave just because
You have to adapt.
You have to.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't want to learn another social media. I know how to do these two. Why do I have to learn another one? And then, right away, this is why I like staying connected to the younger people. They keep me young and they keep me informed, and they show me how to do things that I don't know how to do. So thank you. They're like, well, you can merge all 3 accounts. You can? What? Yes.
Oh.
Huh.
So yeah, you can merge all 3. And I'm like, what? Okay, so I'm like, well, you're going to have to show me how to do that, because if I try to figure it out myself, I'm going to get a migraine, and I'm going to throw my phone across the room. But I did start a TikTok a few months ago, and I just sat on it for a while and didn't use it. And I started seeing the other people in my shop that were using TikTok, and they were getting a lot more engagement. And they were like, I stay booked, but like they were like extremely booked. Like, and I'm like, wow, what is... Well, my TikTok video got like 2 million views. And I'm like, whoa, 2 million. Nice. I'm like, okay, maybe TikTok's not a bad idea. So I'm seeing the outreach is different with TikTok. And then my understanding too is because for a while, I don't know if you guys knew, like you can actually get paid to do TikTok. Like if you reach a certain amount.
Oh, I think Facebook does that.
Facebook does it, and so does Instagram.
Yeah.
But they make it really hard to, because there's so many influencers on those platforms. Because TikTok is the new one. They're the ones that are kind of that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. So I'm trying to go there and trying to be better about it. But yeah. And Vic, you brought up a good point. It is the collaboration that's happening in the city that's making all of these things move faster than they were before. Because before it just wasn't out there. And I felt like it wasn't reaching the youth. It wasn't reaching everybody. It was just, like I said, you know.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's nice to see all of the people that are involved. So March 8th, that is on a Friday. It is at the Women's Club. I don't have the exact address, but it is on that one way. So the dress attire, because that was the first thing I asked. I'm like, it's an awards. This is my first year going, so I'm like super excited. I always wanted to know. I saw you go to the awards last year, and I'm like, how do you get invited to go to the awards, or how do you go? I didn't know that you could just buy a ticket and go.
Yeah.
And how we're buying those tickets are, you can go to artsforeveryone.com. If you notice, Vic will be our social media person that shares some of these flyers. There is a QR code. I want to say I shared that on our post that I made for you guys joining me on the podcast. So people could actually scan the QR code and purchase their tickets. Okay. The dress attire for that is funky and fabulous. So it says, you do you, however you're feeling. That's what that means.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I was like, well, is it dressy? Is it casual? And they're like, some people came in a suit with tennis shoes, and some people came in a dress. And, people come how they want to come, and we want them to do themselves. They're artists. Let them do them.
That's exactly, yeah.
So I'm loving that.
People do dress really nice.
Yes.
Like some people, just really, really, really nice. But I'm really trying to campaign local designers to try to, I'm not looking for anything for free, but you know what I'm saying? I really would love.
You should be wearing local designers, though.
Yes, there's a lot of designers in Rockford. I can't stress enough that this is the birthplace of Virgil Abloh, who's one of the world's greatest designers of all time.
Yes.
I think that we shouldn't take that lightly. You know, and there's plenty of designers in Rockford. You know, guys like Kelvin and
I was just gonna say, let's start listing some of
and
them.
honestly, like personally, I'm looking for a one-off. I want to be DJing. I want something that
he wants something
That's
unique that nobody
idea.
else
That's
has.
a great idea.
But this is a great
Platform.
platform for collaboration.
Yeah.
Designing to that degree isn't a category on the Arts Awards yet.
But it could be.
Exactly. 2 years ago, we didn't have a literature category.
And that was added this year?
It was added because people were like, well, just people who are writing. There's people who are doing poetry. Why can't this be a category? You're absolutely right. And now it's a category. So same thing. Designers.
I would love to see that.
I think it'd be awesome. I think that we need to really stop downgrading that we're from Rockford. This is a world-class painter right here.
Yes. And we have Rockford Fashion Week now.
And we have,
so we're up there.
We have.
Yes, we do.
The point I'm trying to make is let's forget that where we're from. Let's forget this is Rockford. The city is filled with world-class talent.
Yes.
Hairstylists, artists, musicians. We
Poets,
really should start collaborating to that capacity. So to your what you were saying earlier, people dress really nice. I would love to see some more collaboration between local designers and people who are nominated or just showing up to these arts awards.
I like that.
That's a really good idea.
There is a lot of art ceremonies coming up in spring. I know we're talking about the Art Council, but there's a Rockford Area Music Awards, SOAR Awards. I believe you're She Who Inspires.
She Inspires, yes.
I mean, there's so many.
I'm a nominee for the best hairstylist of the year in that, so I'll find out soon if I got that or I got close.
But like, just another great accomplishment. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
But another great reason to collaborate between all designers and photographers and videographers. Just coming together. Collaboration, I think, has been like an ongoing trend we've been discussing this conversation.
So my wheels are turning. It's too late now to have somebody start working on my dress for that. But next year, can I have some of these designers hit me up? Because I like to hear you pitch some ideas, or you guys kind of know my style. I'd like someone to make something special for the Arts Awards for me next year. And maybe we can kick that off, Vic. Somebody can make you something. Somebody can make me something. I'm willing to buy.
Same here.
Yes.
Same here. I'm not,
I'm not asking for a handout. I will buy all of my stuff.
That'd be fun.
Yes. So the tickets are $50. It is an award show, so you're going to have a good time. You're going to eat. We're going to have drinks. You get to hear all of the categories. Now, off the top of my head, I have it in an email somewhere. Do you remember a lot of the categories that are being presented this year?
Yeah, so there's a Youth Ambassador. There's Distinguished Artist of the Year. There's Visual Artist of the Year. There's like... placemaking, an individual, placemaking as a group or collective, teacher of the year, and like I mentioned, like literary, poetry, also production of the year. I believe that's most of the categories.
Distinguished artists?
Yeah.
Did we said that right?
Yep.
Excellence in service and arts, individual. And excellence in service organization.
Yep.
You listed all the rest of them.
Pretty much,
yes,
right?
you did.
Yeah,
Yep. You sure did.
I think we need a category for emerging artists.
I would love to.
Were you guys talking about me? I'm sorry. Here I am.
Speaking of artists, we have the icon himself, Yash, Musabji.
Sorry.
Welcome.
As typical artist fashion, I got to come in late.
You're such a diva.
I'm late to my own studio.
Yeah. We were just talking about the categories that are going to be presented at the Rockford Area's Awards. And you were a recipient last year. What category did you win?
Oh, not last year. It was
2000.
It was COVID.
What year was it? A couple years ago?
Was it COVID?
Yeah.
It was the COVID one.
So what year did you win in COVID?
I don't know.
It was 2020.
Do you remember the category?
It was.
Wait, I have your award.
It was
I think the
visual artist.
Visual artist.
Visual
of the
artist
year.
of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I am such a huge fan of yours. I remember when I met her, that's what I said. I'm like, oh my goodness, I am so happy I'm meeting you right now.
And then immediately I said, I love your energy.
I know. I was like, immediately. And I was just like, oh my God. I remember just being like taken away by you. And I was like, wow. And you actually are nominated for 2 categories this year, aren't
Yes,
you?
I am.
You are. What categories are they?
One of them is production of the year, and then the other one is, I forgot what the other one
Was
is.
it innovation?
Distinguished artist.
I have it right here.
Or
I'm gonna look. Hold on. I have glasses on, but I can't.
it was
see
something
that
about
close.
like someone who furthers the art for everyone else or something like that.
I'm looking.
Excellence in service, maybe.
Yeah, that might
Something
be it.
like that. Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
about right.
Yes, excellence in service individual.
Yeah.
So you have that one, and then the production was for your visual album.
My movie, man.
Yes,
There it is.
your visual album, your movie, Prelude to Life, and that was a big deal in Rockford. You turned it into like a red carpet event.
Yeah.
And the whole vibe was there. I remember just walking into the place, and it was a good time. Drinks were flying, photographers were everywhere. It was like just a party in that entryway before we got to go in to sit down and see the movie.
Right.
That was a lot of work on your part
It
to
was
get.
so much because it was like at that time in life there was just like so much going on, you know, and I was just like I was the only one orchestrating and fulfilling, and you know I'm also the artist, so I have to talk to everybody, and I'm just like, how am I doing everything? So when you see me, I'm sure you remember I was just running in circles, like just meeting and greeting, taking care of stuff, making sure the merch stand was going and all that. So yeah, it was stressful, but it was
I think
awesome.
that's what really has separated you from a lot of the artists. Because I remember, like, Mary. So I had shared your your news story from like 2 years ago from the Beloit Film Festival, and Mary had messaged me and she's like, "Do you know this Yash kid?" And I was like, "I don't know him, but I see what he's doing." And I think what's like, I could make a movie, right? But it's like I make a movie and I just put it out there and whatever. I think what really has separated you from a lot of filmmakers is you're really like putting a brand on what you're doing and really like coming from that artist point of view, and not just like I'm not saying the film director and the artist, but sometimes it's hard to separate both. And you're really like, it's like you're presenting it as a canvas,
Right.
and you're doing all the groundwork. And I really think it's what made you stand out, and it's really caught like Mary's attention and really everyone's attention on the board. And we're like, oh, we should get this guy on, you know?
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, especially coming from a legend like you, man. We're gonna hit what up.
Oh, there we go. Exactly.
Yeah, I think because the art that I make is very different. It's not just movies. It's not just visual. It's not just music. It's all cohesive. So people, you know, they say it's funny. My girl's always like, when people ask, "Oh, what does your boyfriend do?" She's like, "I'm just gonna let him explain because it's like he just does so much and it's so complicated." But I think of it like this: I'm an artist that creates an experience through all
That's a
mediums.
good description.
And what I did was I took an album that I wrote and co-produced and executively produced, made a whole movie around it, and then created merchandising and clothing around that. And then
Don't forget the hat.
The hat, the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like everything. And then I made a whole experience where you can come watch it, celebrate it, enjoy it, and consume it. And then there's a whole behind the scenes series of it all and how we filmed it and how to inspire other people to do this. And like pretty much the whole project is like about, here's my blueprint and how I did everything. And here's how you can be great. The only excuse you have now is that you're just lazy.
Fair enough.
Well, I love how even like in podcasting, you wrote out how to become a podcaster so that you could give advice to future podcasters that want to get into this.
Yep.
So he wrote out like pretty much like a business plan so that he could show them like these are the things that you need to do if you want to become a podcaster. These are the roads that you have to follow and so on. So you've done that a few times. You're actually writing like different things like how people can get into film and production.
Yep.
You're doing some great work at CCS right now.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. You're working with the youth, working with the kids, showing them how to do what you do. So I got to do the applaud. Wait, yeah.
So, you know, absolutely. It's just, I don't know. I never saw myself as a teacher. or whatnot, but it just comes naturally because I've finally become at a level where it's like I know what I'm talking about and I'm not just BSing. And I still have a long way to go as an educator, but I think it's a good start. Yeah, man, I'm just privileged to be in this position where I can talk about things that I know. You know, also another good thing was like that 11-step process on how to be a good podcaster.
Yeah,
is really so like I want to help people be successful. Because when you're successful, I get successful, right? Not because that's my only reason, right? But even if, like, let's just say you go to a different podcast studio and you become successful there, awesome, bro, congrats. Like, I'm glad that my 11-step process helped you out, you know? That, like, I just gave to you for free. And it's just, I don't know, like, the possibility of you even, like, having success is more than enough for me to go out my way and help you out.
It's gratifying.
Yeah,
it's gratifying
just cool.
When you're an educator and you can share your knowledge with someone that can turn it into something.
Someone who is eager to learn, eager to like just consume, you know?
Yeah.
My mom always says, like, I love cooking for people who are hungry. You know? Because they're just gonna eat it and they're gonna be so grateful. Yeah. And she doesn't like cooking when we've all eaten or we're just not that hungry.
Because it's not the same.
Same thing. I love teaching to people who are hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too. I feel like at some point too, like every one of us at this table might have like an educator side in us because we're all helping kind of like in our own fields. You know what I mean? Like I am a licensed educator, but like even in my barbershop, like I'm not really teaching, but I'm still guiding people so I can kind of show them like when they're new and they still have a lot of questions because in 1 year you just can't learn everything that there is to know about hair. I'll tell you that. Even I'm sure Vic, you've met people who either b-boying, DJing, right? You've helped people, you put them on. You know what I mean? Like putting them on and showing them how to do things. And you probably have had people that admire your work and were like, I love your art so much. Do you ever give people pointers? Do you ever share things that can make it easier for them?
Oh, when they have questions. Yeah.
I love that. And even if it's simple things like what kind of brushes do you use, or
like
what
that.
paints do you use, right? Like just things like that.
I think at this point in my life, I don't. I'm here to stay. Like I'm gonna live in Rockford forever, and I'm totally fine with that. I love it here.
I do too.
So me, like whatever information I have that I can give anybody, I will give it to you if you want it. Like. Because it really ultimately, if I make you better, let's say you're 15 and you become better than me.
I want to be 15
to be 15, yeah.
Let's say you become better than I ever was at that age and you're going to stay here. We're only pushing our city and this culture forward.
Yeah.
Versus gatekeeping. Versus, all right, I'm not going to tell any of you guys anything. And then I die or something. And all the information I had, all the networks I had, you guys are going to suffer because I didn't give you my connects. I didn't give you my information. It's going to take you. Now you're going to have to be 40 when I could have given you the information at 20.
And you could have had it.
See, I think it takes a special kind of person to do that because a lot of people are selfish.
Absolutely.
And they are like, I want everything. And if I share, I'm going to suffer, you know?
Or I don't want to see you get bigger than I am or better than I am. And that's just not how the world works. Like we're here to teach each other and grow with each other and collaborate. And
that's like I mentioned before, that's one of the reasons why I got involved with the Rockford Area Arts Council. I noticed there was they weren't reaching minorities as much.
Yes.
They weren't reaching the blue collar people as much. Like I'm a factory worker, totally proud union worker. They weren't reaching those audiences. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it myself and not let everyone else know that their kid that goes to Jefferson High School after high school can still be a painter.
Yeah.
Or your kid that goes to Auburn could still be in Kappa, you know what I'm saying, in college. I'd be doing our communities, minorities, blue collar workers a disservice if I'm not at least making an attempt. So through those filters, through those networks of the Arts Council social media pages, I'm able to reach a lot of people, a lot of parents who didn't know these things. Our parents didn't know these things because they didn't have social media. Or they were limited by languages. You know, if you were Indian, you probably just hung out with Indians. If you're Asians, you hung out with Asians. Mexicans hung out with Mexicans. That just is what it is.
And it's funny you say that. That was another reason for me to join the Arts Council and be a board for that. Is like, there are like, dude, Indians in the rest of the world are like known as one of the greatest artists in the world, right? It's if you go to India, look at our country, look at our culture,
Absolutely.
look how insanely artistic, colorful everything is. Like you can't find. It's hard to not find art in every aspect. But when you come to Rockford, there's tons of Indians here. You know, we have tons of them. There's just no artistic Indians. I feel like I haven't really ran into many of them for the like adjusted population difference, right? So it's like, where are you guys all hiding? What the heck?
That's exactly how I feel
Yeah.
about Asians.
See, exactly.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
like where are you guys? So I'm really trying to reach out and try to get more of them informed and whatnot, because there's also a stereotype, man. And I had to battle this a lot, where it's like, we're Indian. This is that TikTok, right? It's like, we're Indian. We're supposed to be doctors, you know, or we're supposed to be lawyers, things like that. And it's like, no, it's okay. Look, like, we're Indians. We can be amazing artists. We can hear our amazing opportunities, and we can thrive, and we can do great things for the city and whatnot. I know it was really hard for me to make that transition when I first did, and my parents were just like disappointed in me, and like the rest of the family was just like, he's gonna be a loser like the rest of them. Like, it's fine. And now they see me on newspapers, on the news and whatnot. They're like, oh man, that's crazy. That's so good. We're proud of you. It's like, come on.
You
guys.
did all
But
along.
when you told them that you wanted to do what you were doing, or like I remember you said there wasn't a word for it.
Yeah.
And you told them it would translate it to like singer, and they're like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Because like there was no word for rapper in Gujarati,
Yeah.
so I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna go sing songs. Mugano Carvajano, and she's like, you're an idiot. Like, shut up and go back to school. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm really good at this stuff. Like, check this out. Like,
And she's like,
I shoot
yeah.
videos. Yeah. So I kind of had to hide the fact that I'm doing the music stuff and then just focus on the film stuff, right? Because that's what they saw. Oh, you won these awards. You're this and this and this. You've been to the Grammys or for shooting this and whatever, right? And it was just kind of like, yeah. But guess what? I also make music now. Like,
Your mom was so proud at the premiere.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, because that was the first time I met your mom.
I had talked about it. My dad, this might be a little personal, but like my dad cried to me right before the premiere, before we were going the night before. And he was like, I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years. And, you know, I've been telling everyone about it. And it's finally here. And I'm just like so excited. And like my dad's the type of dude that just loves like bragging. He loves bragging about anything that new that he got or whatever. But the biggest thing he loves bragging about is me and the success that I've brought. So one of my biggest motivators is to give him more ammo to brag about.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's also why representation matters.
It does.
People need to see our faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we each represent very large, very unappreciated at times communities that create the fabric of the city.
Yeah.
And again, is why I personally have been involved in this and very happy to be involved in the Rockford arts community, but I'm loving seeing the growth of different communities. And you could tell your community, hey, there's money in this, but there's also fun in this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's all kinds of there's other. It's not just all money. I mean, money's nice too, but there's also
opportunities.
satisfaction. There's mental health aspects. There's just fun, you know. Like you could just be an artist and still work your 9-to-5 job, or you could quit your 9-to-5 job and be an artist.
And be an artist full time.
All the possibilities are there. This city is filled with opportunities. You have to go out there and find them. You have to go out there and create them. But
Yes.
they're there, and there's people to support. And like I mentioned, it's important for all our communities to know that we can thrive. It doesn't matter if you're Indian or Asian or Mexican. We all have the same stereotypes, I'm sure.
Yes.
And we've all been breaking them little by little to make sure that our kids and grandkids know that they can make it. If you want to be a doctor, you want to be a construction worker, that's awesome. The world needs those too. But the world also needs designers, and needs painters, and needs musicians. It needs these things
Also,
just as important.
And I know one of the reasons I wanted to get so involved with the arts is I've been friends with a few of you guys on social media for a while, and I was traveling to go to all these barber and beauty events, which were like massive in bigger cities, in different
huge.
states. So like I'm traveling and going to, and I'm like, why don't we have anything like this? Why is my profession not being welcomed in the art community? Because I feel like I'm an artist, but my canvas is different. It's skin, it's hair, it's right. But needless to say, I am an artist. So like I felt compelled to put us out there as artists as well. And I feel like it's happening now where we're starting to do more live art and getting more people other than myself involved with it. And now when I go to these shows, it used to just be me and maybe a sprinkle of other people from here. And now when I go, we have a tribe out there. Like a whole tribe that goes out there with, and we all go and we all love and support each other there.
I was recently brought into Beloit to talk about my short film and whatnot, and we talked about that exactly right there. Where Beloit's a small town, but they're huge on the film side of stuff, right?
Yeah.
They got the Beloit International Film Festival, which is huge. And then they're like, yeah, there's this amazing guy from Rockford. His name's Yash. We're gonna have him come, and everyone's like, oh, Rockford has filmmakers. Rockford has people with videos and they shoot stuff, and like there's people from Rockford at that event that didn't even know that about me or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's what I see where you're coming from. I see where, like, you know, it's like I feel like I know more videographers here than I know like my own family members, man.
Yes, there's so many. Like, how do they not know?
Right.
And it's just like there's so many barbers, hairstylists, makeup artists here, and like it's like we were in this small bubble, and we were just trapped. And it's like now everybody's like spreading their wings and doing different things, and it's like it's okay to go outside, it's okay to go to these events. But I did have to seek inspiration from other places to be like, well, I want some of that here.
Yeah.
I want, you know, so having like barber and beauty events here was important to me.
Yeah.
Adding what I do to different art shows, different community events and things like that was just very, very important to me to start showcasing.
Right, which is why I'm trying to help with the Arts Council and bring the visual side, the film side and whatnot into it, because I feel like we have tons of these amazing people. They just don't know that, you know, they don't get appreciated or highlighted and whatnot. So it's just an honor to, you know, be in this position to help my fellow peers.
Because to me too, filmmaking, photography, things that's an art form as well. And like you said, there's just a numerous list of photographers and
it's an art form that, like, I think people just forget about, you know, like especially with AI now blowing up. It's like, oh, I can just type this photo in and AI will make it for me. And it's like, you're taking out the art, man. Like, you know, it's more than just getting the photo. And because of this stupid device, everyone is like, you know, oh, I'm a photographer, I can just knock this thing out, like we don't got to worry about it. But there's just something different with having actual cameras, and besides the actual camera, it's having someone see it through a specific vision, you know, and just directing the evening and directing the program. And it's just, I don't know, people forget about the art so much.
How do you guys feel about you just brought up AI, because so like I understand AI was a part of like evolution in that area, but I don't want it to take away from the things that we do, because I feel like at some point too, like I just have to share this story because I still can't believe it. I had a gentleman send me an AI picture of himself, right? He had an AI generated picture of himself. So he's like, hey, can you do this hairstyle on me?
Oh, got it.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, well, what does your hair look like now? So he sends me this picture. He's an Asian man. And the picture, he had like curly hair. Most Asians don't have curly hair unless you get some type of permanent or you use some type of tool. He sends me a picture of himself. And I know you guys are not barbers, but you guys know what a bald fade is.
Yeah.
He has a bald fade.
Okay.
So he sends me a real picture of himself, and I'm looking at the bald fade, and I'm like, you have to have hair for me to perm. And he's like, well, I really like the way it looked on this AI image. You don't think you can do it? And I'm like, oh my goodness, no.
I can do it, but just not with you.
But you need, like, you, so like, I don't know. I just feel like it's cheapening my profession, because people come in with these unrealistic pictures or Photoshop. Like, I get a lot of Photoshop pictures where they're like, can you do this color? And I'm like, that's a wig, or that's like Photoshopped.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's tainting some of the art.
I think another thing, it's kind of like AI, but it's also like over editing. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Okay.
Not the same thing, but dude, so many people take my photos that I send them, which I've spent hours editing, you know, making sure that they're clean.
That's a big slap in the face, just so you guys know.
I get rid of all the pores and things like that. You know, I make you look nice, you know, like I get rid of any zits that you have or whatever. But then they like take that, re-edit the colors, and then they put it through a software that makes them look skinnier and slims up their face and whatnot. And then people forget, that those apps don't export in the highest quality. They don't. You've compressed it. So zoom in on those photos, you'll see there's a huge night and day difference. Yeah, you might be like 3% skinnier now, but congrats. Like, did it really matter? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think of.
Some of the standards are so unrealistic right now, is what I mean, and some of this AI imaging is just, like I said, just tainting the work that we do.
What do you guys think?
I think that there's no AI in the world that can even compare to what she can do with her hands.
Oh, that's
No,
so sweet.
I don't think so.
I'm dead serious.
No, there's definitely not.
And you don't have to take my word on anything that I say. Look her up.
I know. I'm a fan.
I'm just saying,
Where can they find you?
To
Where can
anybody
they look
watching,
you up at?
anybody listening, I know everyone here is a witness. I'm saying, again, like I said earlier, let's just forget the fact that we live in this city. This is a world-class
painter right here.
She could say, if she said she was...
live here?
But because
are.
like I said, sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you're a good musician for Rockford."
Damn.
Oh, you're
What
a
do
good.
you mean for Rockford? Just
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
But you see
said,
what I'm
forget
saying,
that
though?
we're here in Rockford.
That's what I'm
Forget
saying,
it.
though. We need to we need to, as a small community, because I don't think this is just a Rockford issue. It's Lansing, Michigan, Racine, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
Toledo, Ohio. They always want to throw that snub. So I'm saying anything AI, she could do it way better. And you don't have to take my word on it. Look her up.
No, I believe it.
Thank you.
But people will try to duplicate things
That's what I'm saying.
that maybe look like maybe they haven't yet, but someone will be compelled to take a piece of your work and maybe try to duplicate what you have done. And I don't think
They can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they've been using with AI for. They take famous artists' paintings and then feed it into the system. Then that's how they
generate.
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, don't get me started. AI. I don't even know where to begin or where to end.
But you're an original, not a copy. No,
But speaking of that, though, you know how the evolution of transportation made horses obsolete, right? But now who owns a horse? Rich people. You know what I'm saying? People, it's become pretty much not a necessity anymore. And thus bringing
luxury.
up luxury.
Become a luxury.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what's going to happen with the art, where it's like, yeah, we can have AI generated stuff for our Facebook or
but
this,
you
this,
got
and
the
this.
real one that Manny made.
Do you have a real art piece painted by a real person?
That's true.
I see it. I see it. But I don't think anybody can do with your hands or do with my hands. No, what I can do and what you can do.
I'm not completely against AI. And when I say AI, I mean, of course, image generator. I'm not completely against it because you can do so many things.
You can do good things with it, I'm saying, too.
Yes. And then it can help you visualize a vision
Certain things,
that
for
you
sure.
just couldn't put it down. But what I against is unethical AI.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
That's
was
a better
my
phrasing,
point. Yeah,
yes.
that is a better phrasing.
Yeah, that's what I'm against.
Yeah.
Because right now, I don't think it's fair. For example, you're a musician, you write music, and every time your music gets used for public use, not private use, you should get paid for it, right? Or at least consent or whatnot, or very minimum credit. And we're artists, visual artists are artists too. So why is it that, people think that, they have the right to take the art that we make and to generate into different images? And when I say people, these are AI company, they make money with it. So where'd that money go? They keep the money. It doesn't go back to the artist.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of problems that I have with AI, but I don't deny it has. It just depends how you use it.
It has a good purpose, just like everything. There's a pros and cons to it. Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons because I can see making a flyer with AI sometimes is better than trying to pick an image out of someone when they don't have professional images done and stuff like that. Sometimes it works out a little bit better. Yeah,
I would say, for example, that it will cost you an arm and leg just to create that image. Then yes. It is handy. I mean, it just have to be ethical.
Ethical, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, the AI is just so awesome, man. Where it's like, I could be like, oh yeah, like take my hat that I'm selling and just put it in like different scenarios or different places.
That way you can see.
Yeah. And then like, oh, it'll be like a guy wearing my hat in a desert or a guy wearing my hat in like a urban scene or whatever. Right. And now it's like, boom, like I have all these things I can use on my website and I don't have to go out and do all that stuff, which it's interesting to see all this stuff, you know, but now you're taking away job from a guy who you would hire as a photographer to go take those shots and whatnot. But it is streamlining things. I don't know. It's an interesting thing, man.
We'll see what it leads up to.
It's still new.
It's still new and people are playing with it. Yeah.
Effect that we're going to see right now is still kind of new. Yeah. I think there's more problem we're gonna start recognize. Yeah.
Well, it's just like the internet. When the internet first came out, it was like everyone's like, "What? This is so horrible for everyone." And then now it's like
you can't go without it.
Yeah,
it's a part of our daily life.
Yeah, you're watching it on it right now.
You'll be watching this on the internet.
You'll be watching us on all platforms. You sure will. And we are getting close to the end of our episode. So I wanted to just thank everybody for coming out, everybody for giving your points of view. And I'm looking for that flyer again. Hold on. There it is. Yes, thank you. So our Rockford Area Art Council Awards is at the Women's Club, 323 Park Avenue in Rockford. It is half a block away from the Coronado. Remember, if you want to purchase your tickets, you can get on the Rockford Area's Art Council page or artsforeveryone.com to make that purchase. You will see QR codes attached to some of our flyers that you can scan very easily and purchase those tickets as well. Remember, it's funky and fabulous dress code. You will see the 4 of us there for sure. And we hope to see you all out there as well. So thank you, everyone, and good night.